everybody. Welcome to Sonic Talk episode 648, recording here today, Wednesday, the 16th of December, the penultimate show of the year because we're heading for Christmas. Next one is next week, 23rd of December, where we're hoping that we will be bringing you a Christmas quiz. Yeah, we tried it last year with a scoreboard and everything, and I think it might actually work. MIDI Era is going to be putting some questions together for us, and we're going to be having marking behind the scenes. Anyway, this is a music technology show. All things to do with creating music, recording music, performing music, synthesizers, drum machines, software, all that kind of stuff. Everything that kind of surrounds, I guess, digital music, even in many ways. I want to say thank you very much to our friends over at Isotope, who will be you will be familiar with. They have a special page. If you go to isotope.sonictalk, you could save 10% on products. All you need to do is use the code SONIC10 at checkout, and you can save on stuff like the RX8, Music Production Suite, Neutron Advanced, Elements, all of the stuff that they do. And while you're there, check out a bunch of their tutorials. They've got a whole cornucopia of video tutorials on how to use their products and get the most out of them. We thank them very much for making this offer available to our friends and listeners and everybody. I want to say, before we get going, you can see us on, if you want to try us on Spotify, we're now on Spotify. You can Sonic Talk Show. I think I can post a link to that. Let me try that. I'll post it in the show notes and we'll see whether that goes. Here we go. That'll give that one. We're also on Stitcher. Here, I'm doing this live real time. Stitcher, posting that one in as well. iTunes and Google Podcasts. I think if I do that, I'll post that one in. That's a really long URL. I hope that's got anything other information in it. And also on Amazon, if you can ask Alexa to play the Sonic Talk podcast. And of course, we're also on Patreon. If you feel you would like to support us, it'd be much appreciated. Very small amounts. We've got lots of exclusive video content on there now, and it's going up every week. And this is stuff that you don't see anywhere else. It's not just early things. It's sounds. It's maybe videos that are extras to reviews we do, patches. As you can see, a few of them scrolling there. And want to thank all of you out there who are supporting us. It's much appreciated. It really is. And thank you very much to you all. So let's say hello. Oh, yes. The one thing I will remember to do as well, if you like what you see here, remember to subscribe and ring the bell. That's apparently what you say these days. That means you'll get notified for all our new content because we have got a lot of stuff coming up. We did just post Jim's YC61, Yamaha YC61 FX Exploration. We've got a 3 big questions season coming up over Christmas, which is Gaz asking a bunch of bewildered celebrities at trade shows a bunch of probing questions. And I've got the Solar 50 big drone machine review, which will be going up sometime soon as well. Anyway, let's say hello to everyone. We'll start with Gaz. There's Gaz over there in his studio in Bristol. Gaz wins the nicest looking photo image because he's got a new lens for his camera. And
yes,
there's you're getting a bit of the Kennys about the beard there. I can't figure out Kenny Rogers.
Kenny Rogers. I don't mind that at all. He was a bass player as well.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah. So I think, the Gambler, and I think he's playing bass on that, and singing. So yeah, Kenny, great. You said about probing, people.
Was that the mic you used?
Yeah, I'm gonna probe them with this. But that's my latest gadget. So I'm really looking forward to playing around with that. That's a Zoom H8 with and that's a stereo shotgun mic. So that's going to be quite cool. So I'm just exploring with things.
Work? You just get the mid and side, is that presumably?
Mid sides. And then I guess the idea is, and then in post you can choose, whether you just want it mono or you can then bring in some atmosphere around. So going to be making some documentaries in the new year, some not music documentaries. So looking to sort of do a little bit more kind of remote stuff and we're doing some films about the Severn estuary, which separates Wales and England, and loads of interesting stories around that. But that's to come. But may I just say something first, quickly? I'm going to be doing my show tonight. I've got Tim Exile on my show this evening, and Endless is now desktop, well, certainly Mac at the moment, and so we're going to be talking about that, and it really does kind of elevate Endless into a new era, really, because being able to run AU VST plugins and whatnot is going to really change things up quite a bit. So that's quite exciting.
Official, or is it official, or is it just the beta they've launched of that?
I think it's official. Is it today or certainly soon? I've got some links that I can share that Tim has sent me. But anyway,
it's endless. Endless.fm.
Yeah, 3 S's.
3
Yes.
I'll post that. See if people
fabulous. Yeah, so that'll be from 8 p.m. tonight, GMT. So please, if you're interested, come and join us for that. Thanks. Yeah. There's my little plug out the way.
Excellent. Well, you're doing loads of streaming at the moment, so I'm surprised. Do you get a chance to actually spend any time with your wife, or mostly she's just in the chat room these days?
That's the only way. Yeah. It's so. Yeah, I mean, I think in a way for me, I am a performer. I totally always have been since I was born. And I guess that I'm getting some of my performance kicks out of doing these streams, really. Although there's very little music in my streams. That's going to change in the new year. I am going to be doing much more music and a lot less waffle. Well, waffle and music. Yes, I definitely can't guarantee there won't be less waffle.
Waffle sit. What's there? So there must be some sort of hybrid
waffle
word.
Sit.
Waffle sit or fusic or muffles. I don't know, something like that. Anyway, Gaz, lovely to have you as ever. And we also have Mr. Ty Unwin, who is in his Christmas grotto / studio up there. Ty, of course, a media composer, which I believe you are actually currently gainfully employed as a media composer, or I'm assuming you are, because I know you're back to work. Been going well today, has it?
In one of those, actually, do you know what? It's actually nothing to do with, I mean, I've kind of got ahead of myself with that. So that's kind of going okay. But I've kind of entered the world of trying to sort out 4K, 8K AV systems, and suddenly running into this whole load of absolute crap about trying to get things to talk to other things and with AV receivers and it's is it HD something C copyright that won't let so and so
HDCP
it won't let this talk to this and then finding that all the HDMI cables need to be 2 point whatever it is and 48 giga. Honestly, it's just all it was I made the mistake of, I think about 18 months ago I bought an 8K TV, which was ridiculous because there's no 8K content. And then Denon have just bought out an 8K receiver. So I've been waiting for a receiver to actually catch up. And they've bought out an 8K receiver that I wanted to get. So I got that.
Who's transmitting 8K for you to be basically from?
Nobody. It's all it is to do with, okay. As if I don't know this. It's basically just the upscaling 4K Blu-rays at the moment. But it's honestly, it's just a world of pain. I started, kind of yesterday morning, I came out of the shop with all the purchases, kicking my heels and, way, it's going to be a jolly day. And then skip forward to me at 4 o'clock this morning, sitting there just in the house, just screaming, and then waking up this morning and having no more joy. So at the moment, honestly, I just want to throw it all out of the window and go back to do some work. But other than that, I'm fine. Happy Christmas, everyone.
Happy Christmas, everybody. Yeah, I can totally get it because we've now here's my technical consideration, which is slightly so basically. We've agreed there are some Christmas elves coming to visit the children in our street, okay? Social distance, they come and lark about in the front garden and say, have you been good and naughty or whatever? There are a few young kids. And so we said, well, why don't we do some Christmas carols for it as well, so that the community can all stand on their doors and have a bit of a Christmas cheer or whatnot. But most Christmas carols are way, way too long and require editing down. And we have a song sheet of some Christmas carols that somebody's kindly donated of a public service where obviously they've already done that. But the versions that we've been able to find on Spotify have 18 verses. So I've had to edit them all down to the right verses. So we had to lyric check all of these carols, then edit them. Now I re-uploaded them I've added them to my Spotify, but the problem is because I've edited them to something else, Spotify will no longer play them on my Sonos speakers, which I was going to put in the window of our house so that the street could hear the carols. So just being able to edit some bloody Christmas carols, which are presumably not copyright anyway, because they were written 600 years ago, the only way I could do it is by bringing my laptop back, it's just been an absolute nightmare. And I'm the only one who can host the files, because then I can only play them via my Sonos control center, which is no longer compatible with the old version of the Sonos speakers I've got. Bloody hell, you know? I mean, honestly, what's the point? Just want to play some Christmas without having to set up. Anyway,
give us humbug, Gaz. Come on, give us a humbug. Ooh.
I'm sorry.
There must be something you can't.
I'm sorry. I don't normally go on a rant about these sort of things, but I want to get it out of the way. I've had a bad tech day, and I just wanted to.
And what then sums it up absolutely is then as I just said to you before we went online. So I have this as a separate little system. I don't touch this from 1 month to the next from whenever I come on. And I just plug everything in exactly how it's plugged in. The microphone I want to use isn't working. The camera wouldn't work. So I don't know what it is. I think it's just that tech just hates us, which is fun.
Christmas. It's the Christmas gremlins. Anyway, enough of my whinging. I think we should probably get on with some stuff. So, this one's for you, Gaz, really, because you're now getting massively into.
Hello, and welcome to this video on Blades, a dual multi-mode filter with a couple of extras from Mutable Instruments. Let's check out what's to come.
So this is DivKid, Ben, who we do occasionally have on the show, Mutable Instruments. This is, interestingly, not DSP. It's an actual analogue filter, dual two-pole filter by Mutable Instruments, Emily at Mutable, just hardware. And Ben does a great demo of that. And Mutable Instruments stuff is really, it's become, much like Make Noise has become as well. It's one of the sort of big top two manufacturers, I think. And Mutable Instruments and Emily's DSP code, which she also makes available open source, as we've seen, because they used it in the Arturia Microfreak, and it's in various things, VCV rack versions of the Mutable. That's all fine. So this is a pure hardware thing. And it just goes to show, again, not only is she great at code, but just generally this kind of stuff. Now, Gaz, you've started doing a bit of Eurorack stuff. You've got some Mutable, haven't you? Haven't you got a Clouds type effect rack?
A Clouds clone. It's actually Andy Max, but I've got a Clouds clone in my rack. But I've got grids as well, which is quite a curious one, really. A topographic drum sequencer, which is cool. It's sort of that lets you kind of navigate. They imagine almost as though you've got a load of drum patterns all across a map, and then you've got an XY control, and you can move through this map. And wherever you are on the map, there's different beats, and then you've just only got like a kick, snare, and hi-hat essentially channels. But the idea is it's almost like a preset drum player, but you can modulate your location on the map. So there's different drum. That's really cool. But I think that's kind of something that typifies the Mutable Instruments approach, which is always kind of coming in sort of sideways at things. And you mentioned about the open source nature of it appearing in different things. And this pedal here, the Poly from, it's an Australian thing from Poly Effects. Yeah, that's got the quite a bunch of the Mutable Instruments algorithms in there, which is quite interesting as a showing how malleable, I guess, those algorithms are, that they can work in a pedal setting, which is pretty cool. But just a little shout out to Ben DivKid, because his videos, they're great, incredibly useful. He really helps explain things and does really good musical demos as well. That's something that I've sadly been lacking in my demos, any kind of musical aspect, although hopefully that'll come. But yeah, Mutable Instruments, there is something very, like this filter, for instance, it's just drool-worthy, What else have I been finding? IntelliGel as well, a lot of their modules are really interesting stuff. And Make Noise, as you mentioned, but for me, I think one of the transformatory module that I've had, and this was thanks to Mylar Melodies really sort of pushing it on me, is the Pamela's new workout, which is essentially clockable modulation gates, and I was like, I don't want that, I'm not interested in that, and he's going, oh no, you want that. Believe me, you want that. And I'm really glad I did now. So really why that's good is it just kind of creates a centerpiece, like, you know, where everything kind of starts. There's a big yellow button that you press. But I digress. I think the whole kind of modular trip, well, that's what it feels like to me, is it's a bit of a thrill ride, really. And I am getting more and more into it. I'm hoping...
I knew it would happen.
I know, but I'm hoping I'll be able to make some music on it soon, because most of the things I've been doing...
Don't hold out for that one, Gaz.
I've been hinting at music, but I mean, on my shows, I typically just get befuddled and lost in what I'm trying to do. And thankfully, my beautiful chat room, I know there's a bunch of the gang in today in the show here now, are just so helpful and patient. So big thanks to them for sticking with me. But yeah, it's starting to happen. To be honest, I think that's why that Pamela's new workout is so good, though, because it just does kind of give you...
Yeah, you've got the engine at the... Ed did a recent review of the ALM Busy Circuits Coupe, which has got the PAM's workout.
Yeah.
But back to the stereo filter, right? I mean, it did sound very good, and there's lots of really interesting features in it, which basically mean that, you know, lots of CV control, lots of drive and saturation. Looks really good.
And I think that is a typical thing, again, on Mutable instruments, is that pretty much, you know, all the parameters are always CVable, really. And I think that's... you know, now you see, I was like, this is one of the things that I was really resisting going in towards the modular thing, is just, you know, I don't want to modulate stuff. I just like things being quite pure and quite simple and, you know, mini moog tones and not a lot of modulation going on. Now I'm like a modulation monster. I just can't get enough of the wibbly wobbly stuff, you know.
I know, Ty, this goes rather against your day-to-day workflow, I realise, just repeatedly, but you can't beat a good filter, though. I mean, let's not pretend.
Okay, first of all, two things here. First of all, that filter sounds lovely. It sounds a really lovely filter. And if I was foolish enough to go down the Eurorack route, which isn't going to happen, then I have to say it would be up there in terms of... I mean, I've got some bits of Eurorack. I mean, Gaz knows this. And actually, last week I bought a Morphogy, having watched Gaz's show about it and just watch him get so flummoxed. But the great thing about Gaz's show is that every time I watch it, is that it reminds me why I hate Eurorack. And I just watch it.
It's like preventative.
Oh my God.
Like
it is. I swear. This is just like a junkie. This is basically just like watching Gaz, you know, kind of take some drugs and sit in the corner and freak out. That's what it's like watching Gaz do that, because every time he's just so down this rabbit hole, and I just watch him killing myself laughing. I watch every episode. I kill myself laughing, just going, go for it, Gaz, and then go, this is why I don't do your array.
It's like a public service announcement film where it says, remember kids, always use the green cross code.
Exactly. And I've got a Morphogy, and I've got a few filters. I've got a few of Dove audio oscillators and anyway, so, and a tone star, and I've got some bits and bobs, but that's it. I mean, I think Gaz got very excited about 18 months ago where I put something about, I bought a KB 37 and put a few modules in, and everyone went, I knew it'd get you, yeah. And I swear within 2 days I just went, sod this. I do. It's all about music for me, and it's all about, you know, and life is too short for me to be going down anything to do Eurorack wise. But if I was going to buy a filter, this filter sounds gorgeous, but I'm not. So there.
Yeah. Right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Fair enough. I think it's about 300 quid, 300 euros, right? And so, you know, it's not outrageously expensive. Hold on, what I've realised I've done is I've Sonic Talk 648 live. This one, I forgot to leave one stage in the streaming system, and it's just created a new stream. No, it's not made for kids. Not with the cursing and curmudgeonliness I started the show with. There we go. Yes, go, Gaz, while I do some admin.
Something I didn't mention, really, I didn't pick up, rather, was the fact that this is a stereo filter, and that is kind of the big news here, because there is a slow acceptance within Eurorack that stereo may be something that people want, So, I found it quite frustrating. I've been looking to get modules that can, like mixer modules that can handle stereo, and it's hard. I mean, there are options there, but wow. And I was thinking about
Christmas drinks funds coming in there, folks. Sorry about that. I just wanted to throw that in. I would just before I want to interject here before anybody accuses me of pocketing it all. I sent out all the Sonic Talk panelists Christmas gifts, or as many of them as I could manage. So that's what's gone. That's gone towards. So there will be stuff wending its way.
Can I bring out that I almost had an argument with the Amazon delivery guy yesterday who delivered this with me going, I'm not suspecting anything. This can't be for me. And it was lovely. And I'm glad that you realised that I like sour sweets, but my God, are they sour? I mean, oh my God, are they sour?
I thought it would be a bit more interesting than your average stuff.
I swear to God, that means you either you like me, so you said them, or you absolutely flipping hate me, because they are sour as.
They were a special American sour selection, and because I know you don't drink, Ty, so I thought, what do I get him that would be a bit more interesting than your average bottle of cheap wine?
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. So thank you, and thank everybody. Obviously, if people have put money up, kind of for this, do go out to everyone. Thank you all so much.
Very kind. Sorry, Gaz, I interrupted you there.
Oh no, it's utterly irrelevant. But I bought some sour sweets from this little old-fashioned sweet shop in Plymouth once. Like they weren't labelled; they were just sort of like in a clear bag, and I don't know quite what they'd done with these particular sweets, but there was no joy in it at all. You'd sort of, and they'd take a few layers off your tongue, your tongue. And I'd give them to people just, there was these girls in a pub, and I was challenging people. Friends who were sitting around this table, and they were all going. And these two girls thought, "Oh, we can, give them here.
We can handle that."
And one girl put two in her mouth. And then something like that, she started crying.
Guys, welcome to my world yesterday. Thank you.
I'm so sorry.
Right.
I should send out something to replace it. This is completely nothing to do with it, but we're getting towards Christmas. What the hell?
Sorry.
There were these. I don't know if you've ever seen those jelly beans that you can get, which are lots of weird flavors, like jelly bean roulette, and some of them taste like tangerine, and some of them taste like vomit,
rotten eggs.
Rotten eggs. And my daughter took some to school when she was a little kid, for fun. And there were loads of really distressed junior school kids, and she got them confiscated. We got into a lot of trouble from it. So watch out what you do.
In the summer, my daughter had some. I bought some, but what she didn't realise was you bought the packet, and they were all the bad ones. And you're meant to then mix them with the good ones. But I didn't tell her. So I just kept telling her that they were all lovely. So she ate all of these awful ones, thinking she was trying to find the good ones. There were no good ones. It was so funny. Anyway.
Right. There was some news, wasn't there? Oh,
all right. So there was one more. Robbie Bronniman on tour. They had on Howard Jones tour, I think they had on the rider a load of Jelly Belly, like on the rider. And so Robbie would just empty just one pack of the... one pack of what they call, I can't remember, but the ones with the horrible taste, you just empty a pack into it. So probably 95% of them are fine, but just putting some of those sneaky ones in there. Yeah. Anyway, sorry, that was just the final thing.
Great. Well, so there we go. Not only did we did Ty get everybody get their gifts, but you also got an extra impromptu topic out of it. But there we go. New Mutable Modules Blades. I think it's available now. I mean, as often with their stuff, there's the website. As often with the stuff, it does actually sell out quite quickly. So the first batch may well be going quick. So you probably need to get out there and put your order in if you want. Let's see. Is there anything else that's? Let's do
LFE. Definitely. Can we definitely do the LFE?
Let's do the LFE now. I think let's do the LFE first. Where is it? It's Oh, have I put it in here? No, that's not it.
Hey there.
No, that's not it either.
Do you
That's not
struggle
it.
with...
Where is it?
Hello and welcome.
I obviously haven't done it. So LFE, hold on. No, don't worry. I'm going to get there. I will bring it. I'll just find a way to bring it into the show. Sorry, this is I don't know why I pretend it's ever anything than a complete shambles, because it always is. All right, and now the only other thing I've got to do is set the... I thought I was prepared for this show, and I really am not in any way. It's quite disappointing. And Gaz, you were saying you were kind of up in your game. I'm really going to have to... Here we go. I'll full screen it. This is one of Jamie Geosynth's reviews, and this is the LFE from Sonicstate, which came about because I'm doing a chat with Mitch from Sound Toys, and he said, I just got one of these. And basically this is a MIDI controller that has its own processing in, and it's designed to work with a bunch of the Dave Smith instruments, and it adds additional LFOs and envelopes/sequencers, but it modulates the MIDI CC parameters.
Welcome to myself, Jamie of Geosynth.
Hey, Jamie. So what you can do is essentially create MIDI LFOs and MIDI envelopes that modulate parameters in the companion synthesizer, which we've seen a little bit elsewhere, but this is a very dedicated and specific version. And it's a really, really good idea. And I've long been saying they should be putting MIDI LFOs or CC assignable LFOs and whatnot in. And people say, you can't do that because it's only 128 step, the interpolation would be terrible, but clearly this says otherwise. He hasn't got a website, Sonicstate, and I think they sold out this batch, and there's maybe a couple more. But Ty, you wanted this one because maybe what do you probably know more about it? I'm hoping so.
The only reason is the fact that you sent out the subjects for this for the show yesterday, and I think I told you I could only get on about 1 o'clock this afternoon when I basically came back and went, I can make it on. And so I actually bothered to do a bit of research, and so looked at the subjects we're going to be covering. And I loaded this one up, and I just thought, oh God, yeah, I've seen this one before. I saw it about 18 months ago when this Geosynth thing went out, and I looked at it and went, yeah, it's all right, it's okay, seems vaguely interesting. And then I watched a couple of videos, and suddenly I was there going, oh my God, hang on a second. And the amount this has been updated in the last 18 months is absolutely flabbergasting. And so within 10 minutes of me looking at the video, I went onto the Facebook page and started chatting with Steve, the guy who is, he is the company. And within 20 minutes, I'd ordered one. And
sorry.
So you cost me money. Absolutely, genuinely, one of my first messages was, damn you, Sonicstate. But this thing looks absolutely incredible. I mean, it basically links to essentially an OB6 Prophet 6, the new Rev 4 Prophets 5 and 10, Nordwave 2 and Voyager. But basically, it adds, not only does it add these multiple LFOs, envelope, sequencer, it adds a whole load of, it basically turns it into a mod matrix. And this is all done via MIDI. And it adds all of those features. And then the patches are saved with the main synth. Yeah. So as you change the synth patch, it is literally just like a straight, it's not almost like a bolt-on. It's like a complete extension of the synth. It just adds all of those features.
That was the thing. So when you save the patch on it saves the patch in the synth and the association. Absolutely. So when it recalls, it's all linked again, that's genius.
It's like it's completely one with the synth. And I ended up going to Steve, the guy, look, can I just give you a call? So I called him and we talked through it about, kind of what it does. And there's loads of performance things, like it's got, you can actually allocate one note aftertouch. So it's got release velocity or release aftertouch. So basically, if you just press it as you're releasing the note, it can trigger something else. And it's like a complete mod matrix that allows you to assign things that aren't assignable on the main machine, but from within this unit. Honestly, it's It's amazing. Well, it looks like it's going to be amazing. I don't know. I obviously, I never even thought about it 3 hours ago.
It has some CV compatibility as well.
Control as well.
But the thing that's really interesting about it, I guess, you could use it. I mean, because I know you use like a big Fatah Master keyboard. You could use it in combination with that. And presumably, it'll spit out MIDI. Can you program it so that it'll do other things?
It can control anything that is controllable by CCs. It can control.
That is neat. Gaz, what do you think of that?
And the kind of money,
more modulation. Sorry.
The kind of money, it's only, kind of 500 and something. And I know I'm not trying to belittle, it's still 500 and something. But the kind of control and extra features it will bring to something like a Prophet 6 or a Prophet, 10 is enormous. So, yeah.
Neat. You want more Wibble Wobble, Gaz? Maybe you should get one of these.
Well, actually, I've got something else coming, I think, tomorrow, which is, I guess, like a rival to this, and that's the Electra One. And I think that looks really, really cool. I can't wait to get my hands on it.
Gaz, I've got an Electra One. The Electra One is fantastic, and it's really brilliant, but it's no resemblance to this at all.
Oh, really? Okay, because,
they're not competition.
Okay. No. Because I suppose the Electra One is has got the touchscreen and the knobs and is a MIDI controller. That's the kind of similarity I was thinking.
That's this guy. Yeah, I know the thing. We covered this, didn't we? Yeah, we did cover this. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm kind of curious about this. But what would you? How would you differ the two then? Because I mean, obviously the modulation.
That is purely a programmer. Essentially, that really does nothing other than give you a whole load of knobs that's basically specific to that instrument. So if you stick this with something that, like a DX7 or something, you suddenly gain a whole load of knob control that you didn't have before. But the LFE isn't so much a controller; it's a complete audio engine of LFOs and envelopes. Addition to the actual
additional. I see what you mean. It's expanding that's
exactly
opening up the control. Yeah,
but they're both great. They're both great, but they are very different.
Oh well, that's cool. I look forward to hearing how you get on with that. But I'm glad to hear it that we somehow created a monster there. Last week we actually did. We got. Because Charles Chicky Reeves, he mentioned the Kornev talkback limiter, and we did actually take their website down, and they emailed us and said, I can't believe it, you took our website down, because everybody went over and checked it out. That's the first time we've documented evidence that we've actually done that, so I want to say well done, team. Right on. Okay, let's get on to. This was one I wanted to do this because I'm going to be interviewing Georgie. So this is Georgie Ward at St George's Hall in Bristol, playing on a lovely, very nicely tuned Steinway B. There's a whole load of stuff before this, but listen. I mean, she is a really accurate. She plays with Will Gregory's Moog Ensemble, so she's obviously a great player. And I think that's an SH09, I think. But
yeah.
But she is focused as hell.
Yeah.
And she plays a bit more of the... and you can hear what a great player she is. Metronomic would be the word I would use. Here she goes. I think she starts to play it. So this is part of a long-form performance that, in fact, Will Gregory said, have you heard of Georgie? She's just done this. Maybe you'd like to talk to her or feature it or something. And I thought, hey, that's really good. So I'm hoping we're going to do an interview with her on Monday, which will happen sometime over the Christmas period once I've edited it all up, in her studio with her synth stuff. But she's clearly a fantastic pianist as well. And it's quite, reminds me of Systems type music, that kind of polyrhythmic, quite metronomic kind of stuff. But I thought it was great. I know, Ty, you're a player. I mean, you probably appreciate her musical chops more than I, unless you didn't get a chance.
If I was 20 years younger and looked like Johnny Depp, wow. I mean, she's my perfect woman. I mean, it's unbelievable. That kind of musical ability and is just rocks my boat. I would just sit and watch that for hours and hours and hours, because I keep it's bad when you get me and Rich on the show, because we just sit there for all the time, just being very boring, going, kind of, yes, but we want players. We don't want people who can just sit there and press play and, don't start me on the old DJ rubbish. So players, yes, it's all about players. And she is a fantastic player. She's got all the ability, all the skill. Compositionally, she's got it as well. So
it's really interesting.
Absolutely amazing.
I wonder whether I recognise that SH09, because I know in the Moog ensemble, they don't all play Moog. Some of them do, but some of them are playing. There's Micro Brute, and there's I think there's an SH09, and I think that might be the SH09. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. But I'm going to quiz her about that, because it's interesting. The things that she chose are very, there's a Prophet, there's a Rev 3, I think there's the SH09, there's the Steinway. Everything instrument-wise has been chosen is a very strong sonic element. But this, because you've been saying about St. George's Hall, it's got a really amazing acoustic, hasn't it? I mean, it's quite legendary. Yes. And they've been doing these live performances from there. It's a great idea to utilise the space. Yeah,
it is. It is a beautiful old-fashioned concert hall in Bristol. Some of you might have seen the little feature that Andy Mack and myself filmed about the music of Barry Gray. It's one of my favourite ever features I've done for Sonicstate, and that was at the same hall at St. George's Hall. And I don't know if it was a quirk of fate or quite why it sounds so lovely in there, but any concert I've ever seen in there is just mesmerising, beautiful, beautiful place. But I mean, Georgie, wow, she's so animated though, isn't she? I remember seeing her with the ensemble, she becomes the music, she is the music in a physical self,
I mean, the level of... what I got there was this sort of level of intent, because that stuff is... I was thinking, is that really live? And then I've kind of rewatched it a few times, and it's like, crikey. I mean, the intensity, just the choreography and the intensity to get it that right is really impressive, really impressive.
Because, the Moog Ensemble, though, is a real wonderful act, and I really recommend people checking that out if you've never seen it.
We did a piece on it. She wasn't involved at that point. I think Hazel Mills was playing it at that point as well. Maybe she's also in it. And it's a sort of ever-changing collection of people. They play. You're right. They play Moog. They play Bach, a lot of Bach, and but it's played with wind controllers. And it honestly, sometimes you're there and you're just thinking that sounds like an ensemble. It doesn't sound like electronic at all. It's brilliant, and she's part of that.
Yeah. I think it all comes down to, the whole thing about the Moog Ensemble, again, and I don't want to keep harping on about it, but it's all the musicianship. The musicianship is something that, I don't want to be melodramatic and say, but it's a dying art form, but, kind of proper musicianship is something that is becoming rarer and rarer. And because technology allows you to get away with having, kind of either very little talent or next to no talent, and because technology can help, that's the way things are going. And when you get a proper musician playing proper music in a musical way, it's just like a breath of fresh air. It's just...
Well, that's an interesting point. I wonder if that... because obviously people aren't able to play live and craft, hone their crafts. I wonder if we're going to see like a kind of a skills gap, maybe a temporary blip while people kind of get back into it after all of this isolation business. That would be, I hope not. I mean,
there is another side. Oh, sorry, off you.
No, carry on, Gaz. What you can say?
Well, I mean, there is another side to it though, which is like if you take someone like Eamon Tobin, for instance, who isn't a player. He just done an album recently. Just have to remember what it's called. It says Eamon Tobin Presents, and it's got this new. Just checking it out. Figueroa, I think it's called, and it sounds like a kind of psychedelic folk album. And it's actually the first album I think he's done the lead vocals on. The vocals are quite simplistic on it, but there's lots of really lovely guitar playing. And then I found out there isn't any, he's programmed the whole thing. It's entirely programmed and there's nothing played on it. Another person like that is Cenk from Electron. He doesn't play any physical instrument.
No, that's true, yeah.
but yet
he's very musical, isn't he?
Very musical, and well, I say physical instrument. Of course, he's playing a physical instrument on the boxes as he's manipulating them. But it's just
the main difference with this is from a musical point of view. I find personally that the musicianship comes from not what notes to play. I've always said this: it's to what notes not to play. You tend to find it's the more musical people that have the genuine musical ability have the ability to play very, 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 very little, and knowing when to play it and how to play it. And what you tend to find is people that don't have the musicianship just keep going and don't know when to stop because they don't have it in their they just don't have it. Simple as that. And it's like if you watch George's performance, as much as you've just shown the bits where it's all hell going for leather, there's loads of it where there's very little happening, but it works perfectly because she knows exactly the right moments to make things happen and when to not make things happen. And that's the difference, that when you get into more programmers side of things, this is very much a generalization, that ability is less obvious. I mean, I know that I'm such a snob when it comes to these things, and please feel free to shoot me down on it, but I feel really strongly about it. Because kind of the whole, I think it's also, I can understand your position because you can do that. You're a player. You can. We've seen you do it when you did the Sonic Talk live. We saw what, and you would go, oh no, it's nothing, and everyone was going, no, that sounds pretty good to me. And it's great to be able to do that stuff is really great. And that actually, interestingly, I posted because I've been reviewing the Op 6. That's the next thing in the list, and that really encourages playing because. This is a bit of an aside. I don't know if it's got to do anything. It just came to me, but because FM traditionally is very complex, but the expression seems to come mainly from dynamics, from the velocity, and it's something that I can't remember the name of the instrument now that it's gone. That you ordered one, Ty. The FM based. The C15.
The C15.
Yeah.
And what's really interesting about it, because the Op 6 has sine waves, but the extended kind of FM capabilities means that you've got other oscillator shapes in the operators. But when you start just using operators like oscillators and just have them on, because they're just digital replications of waves, they haven't got any analogness built into them because they need to be mathematically correct to be able to work properly for FM. They sound quite horrible because when you start stacking them up, you get this kind of like razor sharp comb sort of all exact pitches at the same time. But when you start to introduce the velocity and the playing, I suppose I'm getting into a roundabout way that maybe the Op 6 will actually encourage people to play more because to get the most out of it, you sort of need to get those really dynamic sounds.
That's kind of the same. That is also kind of the same as when the DX came out in the first place. Half the reason that the DX took off so much was not only the fact it didn't sound like analog, but there was a dynamic element to it that, love it or hate it, it's really difficult to get that, especially back then in the analog side things. So
velocity sensitivity was. I mean, what was velocity? What synths were velocity sensitive back then? The CS80. What?
Well, the CS80 was, but other than that, the Prophet 5 wasn't. Jupiter 8 wasn't.
Yeah,
all the Junos weren't.
That's a very good point.
Yeah, really good point. Yeah.
Well, so anyway, Georgie, because I was hoping that she was going to send me like links and stuff, which I haven't had yet, so I don't know exactly where to find her. I have got a SoundCloud, but there are. Oops, that's not the one I want to do. That's the one I want to do. So that's the best I could do. So
maybe don't mention the fact that I said that if I was 20 years younger and looked like
let's not reiterate that. No.
Don't mention that one.
I won't say a word. Okay. So what were? Let me see. That's what's that. So we did the performance video. No, that's beautiful tones of. Here we go. I just like that. I'm glad this exists.
Oh God.
This sound is not so good. You give it a little more time, it gets better. Here we go. No. That's it. This is the project of, I think it's a guy called Hultén. who took the work of original project by Simone Giertz and built a sort of more cosmetically pleasing version, which is, I guess it's just based on, a Pi or some kind of sample playback. It's just a bit of fun. It's very. When I saw the thumbnail, I thought maybe it was Look Mum No Computer, but it's just a little bit too slick. His would have a bit more stuff dangling off it and wouldn't be quite so beautiful, perhaps, in the same aesthetic way. I only put this here, Ty, because I thought it was a nice thing and something that, if you had time in your life, I think that says it all. We'll go to Gaz first then. Aren't you happy this exists in the world, surely?
I am, but I think they should use real dentures, though. I think that would make it...
Oh, do you think? That would be a bit grotesque.
I think it'd be good if there was like a bellows as well, of pumping out bad breath as well, just sort of...
That's a great idea.
I love it when people go to such extremes to do silly things like this.
Do you?
I do.
You really?
I think it makes the world turn. I do.
I just think, humour has no place in music. End of story. It's just the amount of time and effort and talent and thought process and planning and ability and all of this that goes into. I just don't. Oh God! I mean, obviously, a talented guy, incredibly talented. You're going to look back on. He's going to look back on his deathbed and go, "Christ, why did I waste 6 months of my life making that flipping thing with teeth?" That's what's going to happen.
Said the man who's up till 4 in the morning wiring up 8K HDMI system. Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
I'm coming back at you with that. You're not getting away with that.
I think as much as you're quite right to go, I'm glad this exists. I just worry. It's like a lot of, kind of modern art, and I love a lot of modern art, but there's just a certain level where you go, really, you've wasted so much time doing this.
I think you're being too grumpy.
I think he needs to I think it needs to modify it so the mod wheel has a tongue come on.
That would be a good. Technomatic in the chat room said if it had the bad breath, it could be called a halotonium, which I think is absolutely beautiful. Beautiful.
Halotonium.
That wins. That wins the internet of this show today, I think.
Yeah.
Excellent. I just want to say thank you very much to Tara M for some more. That means I may be able to send you some non-sour sweets there. You never know. I just thought it was fun. I saw it on Synthtopia, first of all. Shout out to our friends over there. James and Elizabeth are two of my favourite Americans. There are other. As of my favourite Americans, so not my only favourite Americans. Okay, gosh, we're getting through it. Where did I get to now? Oh yeah, here we go. This is good.
Hey there.
Ben Jordan,
walking through the woods
top
north
YouTuber.
Of Atlanta, Georgia.
This is a really brilliant
down this trail. I'm going to reach some sort of area where they store a bunch of unused construction materials, and I believe it's stored by the state or the county. I'm not really sure. This is also an area where they store a bunch of vehicles.
So I'm going to fast forward it a bit.
The radius of the air, the Western tuning.
So he found all these pipes, but the pipes, honestly...
By the way, I'm recording at 96 kilohertz at 24-bit, and I'm just using the Zoom XY mode and make this as efficient as possible.
Wow. Some really great sounds.
It's fake reviews the battery works fine, but that's just how things are.
He's got this transducer.
This is a 4-ohm, 50-watt transducer. Scientifically accurate. One question
That is some dedication, taking a transducer on a sample. I mean, Ben Jordan's a really great YouTuber. I'll just post his... let me post a link to his channel because I think you should check out a lot of his stuff. Ben and Gear, there we go. In fact, he's got a very popular video on a certain Mr. Behringer as policies, but we won't go there. We're going to stay with the what he's got. But what a great idea. Now, you've got that mic. You've got no excuses. You're going to have to get out there. What a great,
really inspired.
really inspired.
Yeah. Yeah, because I want to build. Well, I say want to. I am building a sample library at the moment, and I want to get more bespoke sounds into it. I'm going to go and sneak around around Bristol Zoo at night with this. So I reckon it might be.
What, you mean over the wall or just outside?
Well, outside. Because I reckon there could be some quite curious sounds going on. So, but I do.
One of them being you getting arrested. One of them. Yeah.
Actually, because it was like this. I've got one of these things. It comes with. Where is it? Here. But then I was also kind of thinking, I probably could just get away with. I could probably just get away with this.
Yeah, you could.
I'm having to take that out.
What you need to take as well, just to disprove your guilt, is one of these. One of the. I love that. I've always wanted one of these ladders. These little extendable ladders that basically you just kind of. So you can then kind of climb up the wall and just point your mic over the top. Actually, I'm sure as a kid, I used to go to Bristol Zoo as a kid. Bristol Zoo that. There are, I mean, whatever you feel about zoos, I'm a bit kind of here. I'm not sure how I feel about zoos at the moment because it's generally a good or a bad thing, depending on whether you think it's helping breeding programs or captivity. Bit on the fence of that, but there used to be. I used to go as a kid, and round the back of Bristol Zoo, there's a whole load of houses, and I do remember very occasionally there would be an escape, and they would be chasing monkeys down the street, Bristol, round by Bristol. I don't think that happens anymore, but.
It is actually it's closing down. They're moving it. Well, they're moving it after 150.
Yeah, it's kind of a Victorian zoo, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. It's so they're moving it sort of out. So that whole era, Johnny Morris era, Animal Magic. For those who that was always at Bristol Zoo for
Johnny Morris.
For those of you,
the first
remember
like David Attenborough, first time round, really, wasn't he? I guess he was like.
And he used to voice. He got a lot of criticism because he used to voice the animals. You do, oh, here I am today. Come, let's have a look down here.
Yeah.
Just to put these silly voices. But like he was criticised for sort of, was it anthropomorphizing?
Anthropomorphizing.
Oh, for God's sake, you're joking? Really? Some people need to get a life. God, he was putting silly voices onto animals. Wow, God. Anyway,
well, I think he was largely responsible for because they had the first. They bred the first white tigers, I think, as well. I mean, anyway. I'm not sure it's a subject that isn't going to be contentious, just purely because captivity is not really.
Yeah,
my
cousin works in a zoo though, Chester Zoo, and she is. I've been learning a lot about it, and they really do put a lot of work into, as you say, animal conservation and study, and the fact that people pay to come and look at the animals does, fund that. Oh gosh, this is an aside, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not really. Anyway, but you're going to go.
Going to get interesting sounds. Yeah. So there's a lot of roadworks going on not too far from here as well. So those are the kind of things that I'm just kind of curious to kind of collect a whole bunch of sounds up. Because I've got various sample manipulators like the Morphogene, for instance, or the Octatrack, so those devices come into their own if the sound that you've got that starts with is kind of interesting and unique. And I'm quite excited about that. So I haven't actually checked this video of Ben's. I love his videos, so this looks really cool.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just a very eloquent. So he reminds me of. I'm trying to remember that there's a couple of other guys. There's that bass player guy and the sort of music.
Adam Neely?
Adam Neely, yeah. There's this sort of very sort of Anyway,
we got 3 big questions of Adam Neely. That's one of the. Oh,
that's
guys
true. We do indeed.
Yep.
Okay, let's get into something really serious now.
Do you struggle with your Christmas?
Wait, sorry, Ty. Did I not ask you first? I do beg your pardon. I'll come back. We'll save that. I do apologise.
It's fine. It's just what I was about to say was. I love the fact of going back to kind of old school. I mean, because we back in the day would when there were no sample libraries available, really, well, very little sample libraries, we used to do this all the time. So, I remember being out with a portable DAT player, a TCD D3 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And you would be out just trying to grab anything to try and get something, form your own library and get it unique. And then there was a whole time when everyone was doing it, and so me included, I just stopped doing all that and just would buy everything. And what's fantastic now is that there does genuinely seem to be a kind of move back into, do you know what, because you can buy anything, it's all the more important that we try and do exactly as Gaz said, we try and kind of create unique libraries. And so, kind of going out and doing this, I mean, I've got portable recorders that, having watched this video, because as you say, the sounds that he got were amazing, and when he was using them as impulse responses, that was sounding incredible. I just thought, oh my God, I should go and do exactly the same, go back to what I was doing in 1988,
Well, exactly. Yeah. I mean, because some of that stuff now, the impulse responses are probably the most valuable, because there's so many things now that you can load them into.
Yeah, absolutely. No, it's a great video. It's really inspiring. So.
In fact, doesn't the new one of the new live? I'm trying to think which one it is. There's a new synth in live where you can drop. It's the hybrid reverb, isn't it? Where you've got the two sides. You've got an algorithmic and an impulse, and you can flip them between. And you can drop. You don't have to just drop impulses. You can drop any sound in there, and it'll turn it into a kind of impulse response, and you can process the sound through it. It's a really interesting way. I think it's not. I don't think it's new, but it was something that was brought up again when we did something with live with Simon Stokes. He said you could drop like a ride cymbal and process a kick drum through the rides. It gets some quite interesting convolutions based on that sort of stuff.
I'm going to try and see if I can make no, not biscuits. It's the secret to my lovely aroma.
Jean-Paul Gaultier. Okay. What's that? Orifice? It looks like Gaz, that looks a little bit like a cat's backside on the front panel.
There's so many sounds in it, so I'm going to see if I can make an entire song out of it. Yeah. So that
as long as you use that really close up and as the poster frame, then I see no problem with that.
The cat's anus. Maybe I should make a song about cat's anuses.
Oh God, here we go. Show titles.
I've got a story about a dog's anus.
I remember it very well. It was on. I forget which episode it was on, but I do recall falling asleep on the tour bus. Yes, I've heard that one. That's incredible.
Waking up to someone kissing me on the cheek, only to realise that a dog was sitting on my face. Anyway.
Yeah. Not so nice. Well, I suppose you haven't been for a walk for a while. That was it. I was going to go here, wasn't I?
Do you struggle with your Christmas compositions just not sounding Christmassy enough?
Yes.
Do you wish there was an easy way to add instant Christmas cheer to your music?
Yes.
Then try the new Sleighbells library from Fracture Sounds. It includes 6 types of Sleighbells, sampled in exquisite detail, with more round robins than you could ever wish for. What's more, the included Instant Christmas patch automatically syncs to your host tempo and plays a festive rhythm, letting you effortlessly add holiday cheer to any composition.
There we go. Now, Ty, I suspect this time of year, much of your work, or maybe it's earlier in the year where much of your work would require a certain Christmas flavour. And I do believe we might have talked about, I think almost any rhythm track can be improved with a subtle use of Sleighbells rather than just, your boring old shaker or cabassa.
I think what I find really funny about this is the fact that, because I've had to do it, is that you go and look at long-standing series on TV, so many long-standing series on TV, and they go back to the composer in basically September and go, can you just make the theme tune Christmassy? And it's the same theme tune as it was, and all everybody does, and it's absolutely true, is you stick Sleighbells onto the top of it, and at the very end you go ding 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 on Jingle Bells, and that is automatically
is how to make it in the media business. Yeah,
that is automatically Chrismasizing every theme tune known to man. And I swear, you watch TV from now until Christmas, and they all do it. And I've had to do it, so I've been there. But yeah, look, you can't beat some sleigh bells. I think I've said before, I mean, I love Christmas. Christmas is my favourite time of year. So anything that makes it cheesy and tacky and, you know, I love it. Absolutely can't get enough of it. But, oh, you've muted. Oh, you're back. Oh, are you still muted? Can you hear Nick?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can't hear Nick.
Oh, yeah. No. Hey, quick, let's talk about him before he gets...
Oh, God, I know.
I know.
So what he's wearing. Look at that shirt.
I know. What's he like? It's just...
Could have made an effort. God's sake. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, hang on a minute. We can't hear him, but he can still hear us.
Oh, no!
Now he's thinking, does he now think we're double bluffing him? Does he think we can actually hear him? We can't hear you, Nick. We generally... Can you hear him?
I can't hear him. No.
I can't hear him. Nick, you've suddenly disappeared.
No.
That's the button I was looking for.
Yay!
I do beg your pardon. I'm so sorry. And that means that everybody... God, this has been a technical disaster. And maybe what I should just do is... Actually, I should write some kind of random MIDI remapping program that just makes all this stuff happen, because it's probably a lot more entertaining than me talking. So I could actually just do that in the future. Yes, I'm not muted anymore. Thanks, folks. I could see it in the chat room. I know you're a little bit behind, but oops, I forgot where I was.
We're talking Sleighbells.
Christmasizing.
Christmas. Yeah, and Ty was just extolling the virtues of Christmas. Now, I hate Christmas. I know people accuse me of having a bit of a Santa look about it, but, you know, there's no ho, ho, ho here. It's all no. Christmas is a I hate it. I really do. It's like, it's just a distraction. I'm not a huge fan. I mean, this Christmas is probably likely to be less. I used to love Christmas a lot. But I think it's just when it becomes the same every year, and maybe it's not how you would want it if you were, you know.
Hang on a minute.
I better not say
it becomes the same every year.
Unlike baby Jesus.
Sod baby Jesus. But unlike every other week of the year, you know, could you sit there in mid-July going, oh, I don't like July. It's just like May. Do you know, the whole point of Christmas is it's not like every other month. The whole point of Christmas is it's different to every other month. That's what makes it wonderful. You get to put up tacky lights and trees with baubles and tinsel on and make a mess and eat too much. It's fantastic. Oh, do you know what? I would scrap the rest of the year and I'd just have December on loop.
So you come from the Roy Wood school of Christmas. Yeah.
God, do I? Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad to hear that. Good. I think for me, I suppose the thing is this year's going to be a bit different because we're not able to all go and see grandparents because of, you know, it's not generally thought of a good idea. And my daughter doesn't want, because she's working in a supermarket as a key worker, she doesn't want to go visit them. So it makes Christmas Day really complicated. And so it's just going to be, I'll sort of be glad when the day's over. The period itself, I think I'd probably enjoy, because I'm going to take at least a week off because I really need it. I've been working like a dog all this quarter.
Can I ask what's your favourite Christmas song? Well, both of you, what your favourite Christmas songs are? Just out of curiosity.
Oh,
that's could be carols, honestly, they could be pop songs, any.
You see, this is where it gets really sad at this point because, you know, I'm meant to, as a muso, and go, oh, I hate Christmas songs. I love Christmas songs. I mean, I absolutely love them.
Shocked.
And
shocked.
So Wizard, that's got to be up there.
Yeah.
Paul McCartney, which could be, but my absolute all-time favorite. Can I also point out that back in the early 80s or mid 80s when Shakin' Stevens did his,
you did.
I thought that was absolute trash. Absolute trash. I was there with a big quiff, and I thought it was absolute crap. Now, oh my God, I love it. But my all-time favourite by a country mile, and it's not Christmas, and it's the first thing I ever play when I'm putting the tree up. It's the first, and it's been a ritual now for 20 odd years. The first thing I put on is Christmas Song by Nat King Cole. And Nat King Cole is played in this house almost every day all through the Christmas album. The Nat King Cole Christmas album is played every single day. Yeah, I absolutely, Have you ever heard his version of Frosty the Snowman?
No, I haven't.
Honestly, everyone should go and check out Nat King Cole Christmas album.
Okay, we'll try that. Yeah. Interestingly enough, isn't Mariah Carey going to be number one for Christmas in the US, followed by a number of other actual older sort of Christmas songs as well? I get the point. I suppose, what's my favourite? I mean, I really do like Fairy Tale in New York. I think that is great, especially now you're not actually allowed to play it properly because the words are, again, considered to be,
Have you heard the John Bon Jovi cover of it?
No.
Yeah.
Is there a gag? Is this a joke?
I haven't. Oh. No, I haven't. I just haven't been brave enough to listen to it yet. But yeah.
Oh my God! There's some things that just shouldn't happen.
Yeah. I tell you what, I would totally recommend is Sufjan Stevens. He's done a number of Christmas albums. For me, Sufjan Stevens is Sufjan Stevens is one of the greatest.
Is that Shakin' Stevens' alter ego?
Sufjan, it's like he's the post-Christmas Sufjan Stevens. Yeah, Sufjan Stevens is for me possibly the greatest American singer-songwriter of the last 20 years. And his new album, The Ascension, is great. It sounds like he's got a lot of modular action going on in it. But he's done a load of Christmas things. I think he's done like EPs but you can get them all together. But some of that stuff is absolutely amazing and really Christmassy.
Oh, a skip ad will end. This is that's actually, hold on. This is the complete Christmas collection, which is actually 4 hours long.
Yeah.
So you're not wrong there. I'm just going to skip the ad. 4 hours.
Honestly.
Oh no, he's. Yeah. Oh, so he's done covers. Okay, songs for Christmas.
He's done both.
Oh, okay, that's a first for me.
Oh, he's brilliant.
Yeah. You see, he loves Christmas. He loves Christmas. All the good people love Christmas.
All right, then. I'll start liking Christmas again.
Maybe Pork Ticket should do a Christmas song.
Oh, that's an amazing idea.
Because it could be as wrong Christmas as possible.
Well, you do know because I put it. It's on my Facebook thing. Someone keeps posting this. My whole career started. I think I told you because I won that song for Christmas when I was 17, and every year there's somebody who sends me a link to this. Every single Christmas sends me a link to this, and every year I just ignore it. And this year I just thought, you know what, sod it, embrace it. So I actually posted it on Facebook, and it's great to have all these people coming out of the woodwork that knew when I was 17. So I think this is part of the reason why I love Christmas, because it basically started off my entire career. And the little baby Jesus as well.
All right. Okay. I can cope with that. I think that's fair enough. I mean, I suppose the thing is that there are some nice parts of it, and I do like a well-recorded Christmas carol. Although I refer you back to my earlier tirade about trying to edit them into a sort of, because when you've got 12 Christmas carols and you're doing them all in one, and then you point out that actually, if we were to sing them all, we'd be there for 3/4 of an hour to an hour just singing.
Let it go, Nick. Let it go, Nick. Let it go.
I can't.
I have an anecdote that I may have told before on an earlier show, Christmas anecdote, but I apologise if I have, but it is worth pulling out again. About 15 years ago, I made an album, a Christmas album of hand bell ringers all doing all Christmas carols with hand bells. Campanologists, is that hand bells? But we actually recorded it in a sweltering hot summer's day in this little community centre near Warminster, sort of south of Bristol, and everybody was arranged in a semicircle, and it was really an interesting challenge. I had multiple sets of stereo mics set around to get lots of the ambience of the room and different things like that. But because we were really relying on a lot of the room sound, there would be like low-flying aeroplanes that would come over and ruin a take. Or like, but what was quite funny, I shouldn't laugh about it, but there was one of the people who was part of the bell ringing group. Sadly, she'd had a stroke, but she was apparently the life and soul of the group, and she really wanted to be part of the group. But she couldn't really do the thing so much anymore. So because they had each of the players had multiple bells, and they would be picking up different bells, and they'd be carefully kind of dampening them as they put them down. And but this poor woman, she just had one bell, and she only had a little. They would just give her like maybe 1 or 2 notes per song to ring. But the problem was. She'd have a little spasm every now and again.
No,
so we'd be recording a take, and we'd be going right through the end, ding, 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 ding. And then it was like, and everybody was so polite, and back to the beginning again.
Did you not say that you could edit it and say it's no problem? We can take. Let's just go from here, bar 16, and whatever.
If I didn't have a weird sadistic streak, I could have said that.
Yes. Poor woman.
Oh yeah. How uncomfortable. That sounds like an awful situation.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be a fart gag. To be honest,
I thought it was going to be a happy ending, but I mean,
God, that's not
really sad.
I know, but she, she was still able to contribute in a way. so it wasn't, yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've gone on long enough, frankly, and it's time to shut things down before we get right at hand. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget, we've got the YC 61 Effects Gaz's show later on this evening, and there he goes. Thank you. We'll be playing that. I know, and also we will be interviewing Georgie Ward next week, so hopefully we'll have something for Christmas and the Christmas week. Next week, 23rd, we're doing a live Sonic Talk quiz, which we tried last year. I didn't quite get the tech right, surprise, surprise, but I think I've finessed it this year. Famous last words. So please do join us for that. Same time, same place. But thank you very much, Gaz. Thank you for joining us. Been a pleasure, and I hope you have a good show tonight.
Thanks, Tim Exile, joining me. If you missed that earlier, so Tim's joining me to talk about Endless for desktop. So yeah, thanks ever so much.
Mr. Ty Unwin there, tinkling on the piano.
She's in.
So now it's been fully Christmasized. Ty, thank you.
It's there. I'm here.
Thank you for joining us, mate. And if I don't see you before, have a lovely Christmas and enjoy it all.
Generally, I know I'm a grumpy guts and whatever, but thanks to you lot, and thanks to everyone that bothers to watch us. More to the point, thanks to everyone that bothers to watch me at any stage, and So I hope everyone has a really fantastic Christmas. Yeah. Thanks.
Brilliant. Well, thank you very much. And at that point, we'll probably just say goodbye. We'll wave off into the Christmassy sunset, although sun's down already in this part of the world. But see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching. Bye-bye now.
Bye.